Um, Welcome to our session. In Amway, our vision is for every Indian to be Atmanirbhar Bharatiya, every micro entrepreneur to be self-driven and self-reliant. The Amway opportunity is inclusive for everyone, for women, for small town youth, and it does not require even one rupee of capital investment. Everyone is welcome, and Amway provides the platform, the products, the skills, the training for every micro entrepreneur to succeed and be self-reliant. In the midst of this pandemic, all of us are concerned about health and immunity. We're concerned about our loved ones, our parents, our family, our friends, our neighbors, and our community. Amway's Neutralite is based on plant-based diets, is based on long-term immunity and organic farming. Rather, as we, all of us, beyond, doing do gaj ki duri, having face mask and wash our hands, we are also looking at ways in which we can build up personal immunity in the long run and in a very holistic manner. And that's where I think philosophically, Neutralite and Ayurveda are very, very similar. Both are very long-term, preventive, and build the holistic defenses for the human body. Shri Gadkari, India and US have so many similarities. Both our nations love democracy. Both India and US have the best bat and ball team in the world. For America, it's baseball, and for India to have the best cricket team in the world. Both these nations have a vibrant music and movies and art. But I think there's an important aspect when it comes to economy that both these nations share, which is that the foundation of economic growth, both in US and in India, is based on success of micro entrepreneurs. And that's where USIBC is committed to helping micro entrepreneurs in India to succeed and to grow with world-class technology, with products, and with training. Shri Gadkari, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for you championing Atmanirbhar Bharat. Thank you for your time this evening. We look forward to hearing of your vision on the way forward for India. Over to you, Minister.
Thank you very much. All respectable dear friends, it's really a pleasure and pride for me to interact with all of you. Presently, whole world is facing the problem of COVID-19. At the same time, India is also facing this problem crucially. We are facing now this problem not only crucially, but the problem is becoming very complicated. And that is one of the reasons that now we are fighting this war against COVID-19. We are waiting for vaccine. The Indian scientists and the whole world scientists are trying their level best to get a vaccine for COVID-19, and that is very important. Actually, I received some information from USA that now they are in the position to give the alternative for this vaccine, and 100% we are waiting for that.
I'm going to migrate all the apps.
First of all, we need to fight with COVID-19. That is very important. Your experience in USA also that you are all facing a lot of problems. But what I am always trying to convince the Indian society that we need to find out the way out. We need to understand art of living with COVID-19. That is very important. And that is exactly the way in which we need to plan our daily life, that we have to protect ourselves from this virus. Either we like it, may not like it, but the problems which are with us we are facing, we need to face the problem. For that reason, we need positivity and self-confidence. Presently in Indian society, we are facing problem of fear, problem of frustration, negativity, and that is the one of the reason where our society is facing lot of crucial problem. So our past history before 47 and after 47, we have already faced lot of big problems, and the history indicates that we win over and we get the option for that. We have 3 times war with Pakistan, 1 time with China. Then we have lot of floods, volcano, bhukam, and everywhere lot of natural calamities we have faced the problem. So now to create confidence in the mind of the people and positivity is very important. Our government under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji and all we are doing for that. At the same time, we are facing economic war. And this economic war is also very crucial. Presently, India is the fastest growing economy. But after COVID-19, our economy is also facing crucial problems. Our total GDP cost come to 200 lakh crores. Out of which 20 lakh crore package has already declared by the Prime Minister. And as far as the economic consultant, those who are giving their expert opinion, they predict that there will be a budget deficit between state and central government coming to 10 lakh crores. So now in the Indian economy, our most important thing which is important for the country's economy, that we need more liquidity. And that is the reason that I'm in charge for MSMEs, micro and small industries. We have already changed the definition of micro and small industries in India. It is very important. It is a historical decision taken by the government. Previous criteria, there was a classification between 2 sectors, manufacturing and services. But now the classification is manufacturing and services sector both are now as on one head. For micro industries, investment limit was 25 lakh. Now we have converted into 1 crore. Correctity hai ki nahi hai? Now the investment is coming to 1 crore and turnover was 10 lakh. Now it comes to 5 crore. For the small scale industries, the investment was 5 crore previously. Now it comes to 10 crore and turnover is 2 crore. Now it comes to 50 crore. Investment means investment in plant and machinery or equipment. Then for medium scale industries, the investment was 10 crore. Now we have increased it up to 50 crores. And the turnover was 5 crore. Now it comes to 250 crores. And the export turnover in all 3 criteria is excluded. So today, because of this thing, majority industry will get the benefit of MSME. And now we are trying our level best to how we can develop MSME and their growth in India. In present economic situation, our 30% contribution in our GDP is from MSME. 48% of the export is from MSME. And up till now, MSME creates 11 crore jobs. As far as our GDP is concerned, 14 to 16% from agriculture and allied industries, 22 to 24% from manufacturing sector, and 52 to 56% is from service sector. Now the problem is that our economy is facing, we need to create more jobs. Without that, we cannot solve the problem of poverty, because eradication of the poverty is the most important agenda for the government. And for that reason, we need foreign investment in infrastructure, investment in our MSME, investment in NBFCs, banks, and there is a huge opportunity. As far as the road sector is concerned, we are doing excellent jobs. We are now at a time when I taken charge as a minister, it was 2 kilometers per day. But still presently it comes to 30 kilometers per day. And now we are planning for making of 22 green express highways, the new alignment. We have already started the work of Mumbai to Delhi, that is 12-lane axis control road, which is of 12-lane concrete road, and land acquisition is completed. Out of 62, 32 packages already work have been awarded. And the idea is we will complete this road within 3 months, 3 years. And there will be, we can go from Delhi to Mumbai by only 12.5 hours, maximum 13 hours. We can go from Mumbai to Delhi. So this is a great opportunity. But we are now making this type of 22 green express highway, out of which already we have started works on 7 express highway access control. I am giving an example of Meerut to Delhi. Presently it takes 4.5 hours. Now near Swaminarayan Mandir we have constructed 16-lane road, access control road. Already it is inaugurated. And already there is connectivity up to the Meerut. We will complete it within 6 months. And now 4.5 hours in place of that, you can come from Meerut to Delhi by 45 to 50 minutes. Then we are making green express highway between Delhi, Amritsar and Katra up to Kashmir. And this highway is going to be a great opportunity for the Punjab and Haryana. And where there will be distance between Amritsar and Delhi, you can easily go by 4 hours. So we are have a new alignment. I am only giving you an example that Delhi to Mumbai is going to reduce the distance of 220 kilometers. And the most interesting thing is, in place of taking alignment through Delhi, Ahmedabad, Surat, Vadodara, this is the present alignment. In place of that, we have selected the new alignment. The alignment starts near from Gurgaon, the city name as Sona. The highway starts from Sona, going to Savai Madhopur, then Ratlam, Jhabua, and after it goes to Vadodara to Mumbai. The most interesting thing is this highway is from the economically backward, particularly the socially, economically, educationally backward area, that is tribal area. So tribal area of Rajasthan, tribal area of Haryana, tribal area of Maharashtra, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. And that's the reason that because the area is backward, the land acquisition cost is comparatively less. So we save 16,000 crore. Actually, we are expecting the land acquisition cost Delhi, Ahmedabad, Surat, Vadodara, near to that by that alignment if we select. At the land acquisition was coming to just 3 crore rupees per acre. But because of this new alignment, it comes to 10 to 20 lakhs rupees per acre, and we have saved already 16,000 crore on this project. And land acquisition is completed. And this is going to reduce the distance between Mumbai to Delhi by 220 kilometers. So we are on the same line, we are making Delhi, Hyderabad to Bangalore, Bangalore to Chennai, different type of routes we are making. When you come to India, you can observe, you can find out what there is a great difference now that you can experience about it, that how we can change the road structure in India. Regarding MSME, we are now allowing, we have already in the package declared 50,000 crore. That is fund of fund. And this fund is now, we are giving equity to MSME, those who have good track record, bank track record, GST track record, income tax track record, and even good track record for export. There is an autonomous body and we will select the MSME, and by simplifying methodology, we will give them rating. On the basis of that, we will give them up to 15 crore as equity maximum. And after taking our equity, they can go to Mumbai Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, the capital market, and they can raise the capital, by which it is an opportunity for the people like you that you can invest in MSME. Our MSMEs are doing excellent jobs. They are doing good exports. Their track record is very good. And I am confident that you will get very, very good returns. As far as the return on equity, return on investment, the Indian economic situation is really, really better in the whole world. You will get good returns. Our interest cost is high. and that is the reason that you will get good returns. Even in NHI also, uh, we have in last my regime, I was in charge for I was minister in charge for ports, inland waterways, and shipping. At that time, we have started one program named as Sagar Mala, that is development of ports and inland waterways. And at that time, my budget was only 800 crore per year. 5 years, it comes to 4,000 crore. But we have taken a great program of Sagarmala having investment of 16 lakh crore. And even it is difficult for you to believe me. But what I am telling you the fact that we have completed works more than 6 lakh 50,000 crore in Sagarmala in our ports. Our efficiency is double, our capacity is double, and now our shipping are doing excellent job. Total profit coming from the port is 7,000 crore. So it's really a good thing. At the same time, we have completed the waterways. Varanasi to Haldia, 1,380 kilometer waterways have been completed with 4 multimodal hubs: Varanasi, Haldia, Sahibganj, and Gazipur. Out of which already Varanasi and Sahibganj is inaugurated by the Prime Minister, and both Haldia and Gazipur is in the it is in the process of we will complete the project and we will inaugurate. There are 40 small river ports are there, and 3-meter draft is already we have maintained there. And after Haldia, there is a Bengal Sea is there, by which again we completed dredging in Brahmaputra when I was minister. Even with the request of Prime Minister of Bangladesh, we have taken it up to Mongli port, and we have completed dredging. At that time, our foreign minister Sushma ji was request me to do that work. I already completed that. Then we are also completed dredging in Barak River. Now after Varanasi to Allahabad, we have also completed the work of 1-meter draft, and now already we have submitted report to World Bank, and that report is taking from Delhi in Yamuna. That is the waterways. The cost 12,000 crore. That from Delhi we start coming to Mathura to Agra, and by water transport, and Agra to then come to Etawah, and Etawah to Allahabad, Prayagraj, by which Punjab and Haryana through Yamuna to Ganga, they can connect it to Southeast Asia, China, Northeast. Even we are already started work in Gandak, connecting for Nepal. So the Indian situation is lot of waterways are developing, and the economy of waterways is very important. For our export, we need to reduce the logistic cost, power cost, and labor cost. The logistic cost is a very, very important thing. As compared with USA and China, our logistic cost is very high. So now by going by road, the cost is, for example, 10 rupees. Going by railway is 6 rupees, and going by waterways is 1 rupees. And now our plan is to use LNG as a fuel, methanol as a fuel on waterways. Again, that we can reduce that cost. What I will request you that here is a great opportunity for amphibious seaplane, catamaran, hovercrafts. Already you know that Canada in Vancouver, lot of people are using seaplane, amphibious seaplane. In Maldives, already there is a successfully service available for amphibious seaplane. So in India, there is a huge potential, water bodies, lakes, then dams, and then now we are converting these waterways. And then we have 7,500 kilometer of seafront. So it can be a great opportunity for investor. We have already started Mumbai to Goa. At that time, I taken an initiative, and one ship, that is cruise, start from Mumbai to Goa. Now the second ship has already started. The cruise are very beautiful, because you, particularly the USA, I know that what type of quality of their cruise you are enjoying. Now India is also, the cruise tourism has got a huge potential. Every year 5 lakhs people from India going to Singapore for taking cruise. So now our idea is we can start cruise. We are making cruise terminal in Mumbai. Already work has started. It will be completed within 6 months. We have already completed work in Goa, then Cochin, and also Mangalore and Chennai. So up to Sri Lanka, we can start the cruise, and even go up to Singapore, Dubai, there is no problem. So there is a huge potential is available. Regarding tourism, cruise tourism, MSMEs, infrastructure projects, railway, waterways, then regarding road sector. I am minister, I am always talking that I don't have a shortage of economic resources. Because I'm giving an example when I was minister in Mumbai in Maharashtra at 95 2000, I get opportunity to construct Mumbai Pune Express Highway, Worli Bandra Ceiling project, 55 flyovers in Mumbai. And my budget given to government only 5 crore. I raise 3,000, 4,000 crore from capital market and complete the project. So today I don't have any problem in my road sector. Already last my regime, I have completed work with public-private investment more than 17 lakh crores in my own departments. So today my target is to complete this project. I have my target. It is a target. I am not sure about it whether I will complete or not. But my target is for investment of 15 lakh crore in 2 years. I want to award this much of road sector project. The economic viability is very good. IRR is good. Our organization NHI is a AAA rating organization given by the World Institution. The rating is AAA. My total income is presently 28,000 crore. And in 5 years, my idea and my vision is to make it 1 lakh crore per year. I can make extra account for the investment. I can give you daily returns, weekly, 6 monthly, 3 monthly. My balance sheet is very strong. I am getting too much money from Indian bankers and Indian insurance fund, LIC and other thing. I don't have any problem. And that is the reason that I am doing a lot of road projects. My budget is of 1 lakh crore. And at least I can raise 5 lakh crore from the market. And already the road work is going on. When you come to India, go into any state from Northeast, Bengal, anywhere, everywhere you will see that there are a lot of good roads we are making. So this is a success story. So you have an opportunity if you want to invest insurance fund, pension fund, the NHI is the good opportunity. What my suggestion to you, that presently as far as the stock exchange, share economy, pension economy, and what my suggestion is, there is a huge potential for investment and returns are very good as compared with USA. I know that what are the returns you are getting on your investment, either bank interest or even in investment in stock exchange. I feel that Indian situation is very good, positive, and very good returns are there. Only one problem is there. In the government sector, it is very difficult to take the loan into dollars because making hedging of it is a big problem. So we can accept only in rupees. But regarding MSME also, by stock exchange, you can invest in dollar also. So my suggestion is to the golden opportunity for all of you to invest in MSME, invest in NBFCs, invest in financial institutions like banks, investment in railway, road, aviation. We are making 100 new airports. The huge potential. India has got a huge population, huge market is available. The skilled manpower is available. At the same time, we are now, our target is to increase our export and reduce our import.
We've got a really exciting lineup of colleagues who have joined us from industry, from government, to take the conversation forward. So thank you, Minister, for being with us. I want to now turn the panel over to Chris Lennar. Chris Marlin of Lennar International. Chris, thank you so much for joining us, and it's over to you for continuing this conversation.
Thanks, Nisha. We're going to hop right into it. I'm very excited to be here. What a great panel, future of life, work, and travel in the post-COVID environment. Special thanks to Nisha and all the great people at USIBC. Lennar is a friend of USIBC, but more importantly, Lennar is a friend of India. But let's hop right into this conversation. We can talk about that another time. We have Milind Pant, CEO of Amway, Ramesh Abhishek, former Secretary, Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion with India, and a well-known government minister in India. Deepak Bagla, Managing Director and CEO of Invest India with the Government of India, and Pradeep Parameswaran, I messed up the last name, sorry about that, Pradeep, Asia Pacific Head for Uber. So we're going to jump right into this. Milind and Pradeep, how has your business been impacted by the changes we've seen in the last 6 months? And more importantly, as CEOs and leaders, What changes are you planning for in the next 12 months? And how do you think it's going to change the way we live, work, and travel? And thank you to the minister for a great lead in. Thank you.
I think this is a great panel, and thanks for that question. This has been, the word unprecedented has been used multiple times, but I think for a generation to come, there will always be a pre-COVID era and a post-COVID era, and it's been fast-paced and global in its nature. We operate in 100 markets across the world. So we understood what was happening on January 23rd when the first sort of lockdown started. But frankly, it was at a pace and a scale and with an unpredictability that none of us were prepared for. Our first priority remained employee and our distributors' safety first. So that's been our mantra. We've got 15,000 employees across the world. We've got 1 million distributors and Amway business owners. We want to make sure everyone stays safe, and we support them through what was kind of moving very fast across the world. I think your question on what do we see as early trends, we are taking 3 trends that are emerging in the world. The first is there is an obsession about immunity and health and wellness. I talked about this earlier. After we've done the 2 gaj ki duri, after we've done face mask and washing hands, everyone is concerned about their loved ones, their parents, their families, their neighbors. So there's a huge emphasis going forward for years to come on health and wellness. The second is going to be there's a need for opportunities, inclusive opportunities for people, especially women and youth, because of the economic challenges that are likely to be there across the world, including in India, in terms of recovery. And the third is in some sense, this whole summit we are having, that the online is become the new offline. I think with all the challenges we have, we remain extremely optimistic about the post-COVID world. We acknowledge the reality and the challenges of today, but we are continuing to invest and continuing to figure out ways to help our 1 million distributors across the world, including in India, to succeed. I hope that gives you a sense of both the reality as well as the optimism about the future.
Absolutely, Milind. Pradeep?
Chris, thanks so much for the question. I want to just first start by saying thank you to USIBC for the opportunity. In particular, Nisha, a huge shout out to the help that you have provided personally at various occasions over the last few years. So we are grateful for our partnership. I think Milind hit all the high notes on what this means. I think the first thing, we are a business that moves people on the ground, and there are hundreds and thousands of driver partners and millions of riders in our vehicles. So the first priority really was safety. It would be quite amiss if I didn't mention this, right? For a travel company, we were out there first saying, don't travel if you don't need to. And that was very, very difficult, but it was the right choice and it was the right thing to do. In addition, to make sure safety is something everybody can depend on, we have spent more than $50 million on PPE, providing that to drivers. We have introduced a whole host of features around COVID-related protection, policies such as no masks, no rides. I know that is controversial in parts of the world, but that's been mandated globally. And we are innovating with many unique things. In India, for example, if you were to take an Uber, you might have a vehicle where you see plastic separators or physical separators between riders and drivers, so that we can keep everybody who's in a vehicle safe. So that was kind of the real kind of immediate term thing to do. The second thing I'm super proud of for Uber having done this, which is to really make a contribution in the community at the time when it really mattered the most. Globally, we launched what we call the 10 million ride campaign. And just in this last few months, globally, we have given away that many free rides, whether that is to people who are in the frontline, workers, people who are in the medical profession, folks who are trying to make essential services happen. All of these things were incredibly important because these people were putting their lives at stake, and we wanted to play our part in contributing to that. And I think it is amazing to see the recognition. We have just been named in Newsweek as amongst the top 50 global companies who made a difference during the COVID era. The last one I'd leave a thought with for you all to reflect on. For us, our purpose is built around having more people in fewer vehicles, and to really try and accelerate this whole path to sustainability and clean energy and less pollution. I'd say I think most of us have seen what happens when pollution reduces, and we have all enjoyed it. I think internally there's a ton of momentum around accelerating that whole movement. Innovations such as buses, our partnership that we have recently launched with public transit agencies, where we are applying Uber tech to buses and transit forms where, I'd say most people don't enjoy the public transport experience, and Uber's technology can make it more reliable, more safe, more convenient. We are going all in to accelerate that movement. So it's been a huge learning moment. It's been truly one of the most amazing challenges of our professional careers, but I'm thrilled to see the reaction we have had, and we are hopeful that we will play a part in the recovery.
Thanks, both of you. I love the theme of learning, the impossibility of anticipating what's around the corner.
Chris,
Ramesh, please, Nisha.
Chris, before you continue, Chris, let me just say, I know the minister wanted to hear what Milind and Pradeep had to say, particularly because they are creating so many opportunities in the MSME sector. But Mr. Minister, I know you have to get on with your day. I just wanted to jump in to say thank you so much for spending so much time with us and for giving us such a great and optimistic vision of the opportunity that India represents. So, sir, we won't keep you anymore, but I just wanted to make sure to thank you on behalf of all of our members for the time that you spent with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chris, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Sure. So Ramesh and Deepak, as we obviously heard from Minister Gadkari earlier, as government and former government officials, how do you suggest that business and industry work with the Indian government to achieve its vision for building back better, with a special emphasis on MSME infrastructure?
Deepak, you want to go first?
Always after you, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay. Then that's how it will be. MSMEs provide the most number of jobs in the country outside the farming sector. So what happens to MSMEs is of critical importance in a country like India. MSMEs had many challenges even before COVID started, and those challenges remain, whether they are in the era of the need for more access to funds, or to skilling and reskilling needs of the labor, or to the need for modern technology. So all those problems continue to be there, and COVID and handling and trying to protect public health and the lockdowns have created a very difficult situation, of course. Now MSMEs are suffering from many problems, new ones like demand contraction. Now with more and more economic activity coming back, and with government trying to put more money in the hands of the people, things are easing. But I think the demand challenge will be there for quite some time. Secondly, I think access to funds, the government has been trying to put more liquidity in the system, but I think payment of their dues by government, PSUs and private sector is of critical importance to keep the cash flow going, because access to funds was never easy, and it is even more challenging today. Third, I would say that big business, OEMs, for example, have been helping their suppliers, tier 1 suppliers, by trying to do skilling and reskilling, and also helping their suppliers adopt modern technology, for example, in the automobile sector and the entire automotive sector. I think more and more efforts to skill, reskill, and impart modern technology is required for MSMEs, and large companies can definitely play a big part in it. Government, of course, has been doing its bit, but a lot of effort has been coming, and more can come from the private sector, the large corporates. Another area I would say, as was mentioned, that online has become offline now. I think because of the lockdowns and the local lockdowns, the marketing remains a challenge. And I think MSMEs have not taken to online e-commerce as much as they can. It has expanded quite a bit, of course, as we know in India, but I think there are great possibilities. So all, whether it's government or businesses, they have to help MSMEs access a much larger clientele and market consumer by helping them adopt online practices. And I think this is a great opportunity also to simplify the rules and regulations and tax laws and other things for MSMEs. That, as we all of us know, has been a huge constraint in India. It has led to higher costs for doing business, and it has affected badly the competitiveness of industry in general and MSMEs in particular. So I think if we want to become Atmanirbhar or self-reliant, they have to compete against goods from other countries. They also have to compete in the export market, of course. While many sectors are doing well, I would think that more and more emphasis on improving competitiveness through reduction of cost wherever possible, by greater access to funds, and getting modern technology and getting better marketing. All these things will help our MSMEs deal with the challenges in India post-COVID and during COVID.
Thanks. Deepak?
Chris, thank you. Before I get into the MSMEs, just a quick one before that. And let me just step back for a minute. We heard Milind and Pradeep mention about recovery. So I thought, let me just give a recap of what is the status as we speak today. We are in day 120 of the most unprecedented lockdown ever in human history. And what I must say here is what has happened in the past 120 days is the way business, government, and civil society have worked together is a phenomenal example. I mean, some of you are here already on the call. We have Pradeep, we have his team, which worked very closely with ours. Either it was sourcing PPEs urgently for frontline workers, or getting medication, or trying to get spare parts to get the ventilators up. At the same point of time, our team working to get continuity of businesses, especially critical. I think this is one of the classic examples how we all need to work together as one team. And the moment you do that, you can get things going. We're talking about recovery. Is it a U? Is it a V? Is it a bathtub? But let me just give you a few statistics of June, and that'll give you some idea as to how we are positioned. And I'll come to the MSME bit. Power and petrol consumption demand, I'm quite up there as to what it was pre-COVID, which was around February, March. I'm looking at cement year on year, it is flat. Most interesting, FMCG is back to pre-COVID eras, and my two-wheelers and tractors, which shows me that my agriculture side, that demand is picking up significantly. Most interesting, let me bring this one to you. My MSME collections were 65% in the month of June. That is at a time when there is moratorium and they need not have paid that money back. And you know what's more interesting? Microfinance collections. They started the month of June with 60%, ended the month of June with 80%. This is the pace at which India is moving fast, and which is out there to show how the MSME element of India, which to my mind is going to be the next growth factor, which is going to be propelling our growth going forward in the pre-COVID or in the next formation of what we call is New India. Let me give you just two other quick factors. You know, we were one of the first countries to have gone in for a lockdown very early. That is where the Prime Minister clearly mentioned that lives are priority. As long as we have lives, business will be there. And let me tell you what are the statistics on that one and where we stand again in June. India is divided into 729 districts. These are administrative districts. Of these 729 districts, I have over 1,000 cases in only 26 districts. Let me repeat that. Of 729, only in 26 districts, I have over 1,000 cases. In fact, in 449 of these districts, I have less than 50 cases, and in 45 districts, I have a 0 case. We have no idea how this virus behaves, but as of now on day 120, it is to show how this decision of the government to go in for an early lockdown, and a very complex and a difficult lockdown, but it is trying to show you the results that the containment has remained there. In fact, if you really look at it, just move away from what you see on the news and go clearly by statistics to get your opinions. 3 states together today would account for roughly over 80% of my cases. That's a further containment. Very quickly on 2 points. What are the 2 underlying trends which were already there, which I see getting amplified in a big way? The first is de-risking global businesses. That means de-risking global supply chains, and that is where we are already seeing results. We closed this year, Secretary Abhishek was with us as leading this entire ease of doing business effort in the government. 31st March this year, we closed with $74 billion of FDI, the highest ever in our history, 90% of that coming from an open route, which meant did not require any significant clearances, special clearances, making us one of the most open economies on the planet. Why am I telling you all this? By the way, close to 50% of that was greenfield investment. Of this 74 billion, I see this trend of FDI going up much further. In the de-risking of supply chains, we are already seeing a large number of business interests reaching out to Invest India. And that is where I see that entire MSME part coming in. They're re-looking at moving their supply chains closer to where the market is. And the moment that is happening, we are seeing a large part of the mid-market moving in and partnering with our mid-market. And that is where the government has also stepped up when we are talking of a partnership between the government and business. Unprecedented reforms, be it labor, be it creating a single window, be it creating a plug-and-play facility in clusters, bringing down the tax rate to 15%. Everything which the government is doing is to help that business, is to partner with them, not just to make their businesses viable, but make them productive and make them profitable. And the last one, I'll close on this point. You mentioned about the digitization. Well, digitization, obviously India had moved very fast on digitization. This government in the past 50 months had moved across digitizing our entire villages. That has helped us significantly in managing this pandemic. But most importantly, working from home means working from anywhere. What this is going to do in my new India is it is now creating these engines of growth in my small towns and cities. The new India is going to be bottom up from these small towns and cities and not just from the 5 or 7 larger towns and cities of India. That is going to propel the growth, and that is going to be propelled by the MSMEs of India, the MSMEs which have shown how good and quick and nimble they were to pivot their businesses, how they are known for their frugal innovation, for the best utilization of their capital, and how every rupee or dollar put into an MSME shows you the fastest velocity of money. That, Chris, is the beginning of the new India.
Deepak, I love it. I love it. And I'm going to pick up on what you just said about digitalization. I'm part of a nonpartisan, bipartisan commission here in the U.S. to look at the responsiveness of the U.S. economy and the national resilience enterprise as a result of the pandemic. And we've actually spent a fair amount of time looking at India's digital infrastructure, and in particular, how India dealt with food supply chain disruptions during the early days of the pandemic. And there are a lot of lessons that the United States will learn from India in that regard. I'm spending a tremendous amount of time on the digital infrastructure of India. And Deepak, the last time you and I saw each other was at the UN General Assembly with Prime Minister Modi in New York back in September. It feels like, on the one hand, 5 minutes ago, and on the other hand, 50 years ago. But at that session, and Minister Gadkari just spoke a little bit about it in his introductory remarks, we talked, all of us around the table, and Milind, I think you were there as well, we all spoke about inequality, and we spoke about economic inequality, not only in India, but around the world, and certainly in the United States. So Milind and Pradeep, let's talk about the economic inequalities that may be expanded in India as a result of the pandemic. What ways are your companies working to ensure that people are not left behind? In particular, Milind, could you talk about Amway's vision, especially the concept of social commerce and how it's going to contribute to economic growth? And Pradeep, maybe when we get back to you, what's Uber's vision on ensuring that post-pandemic economic opportunities are more evenly distributed? We're thinking about this in our company. It's a really tough question and tough issue as we all work our way through this extremely disruptive time.
Thank you, Chris. And you're right. September does seem like in another era when you, Deepak, and some of us were together in New York City. I think just acknowledging the disruption that is taking place, and any disruption like this in every country, including India, impacts those who are most vulnerable, and those are the ones who take time, in some sense, to recover. So that's a reality, and I think every nation and every society and every economy will go through their own path on how it recovers. But I think the important part of the recovery, and building on Deepak's point, is all going to be about inclusiveness, and that inclusiveness, in my belief, is a lot about micro entrepreneurship, and this macro entrepreneurship coming in from small towns in India, as Deepak said, as well as from women. And I'll just take with you a couple of examples. We in our Amway India business, the team talks about Nari Shakti. And the reason they talk about Nari Shakti is because some of the most successful Amway business across the world, like Korea is $1 billion business for us, a country of 50 million people. 90% of our entrepreneurs in Korea are Amway business owners are women. So we believe that a huge part of what is required in Indian society, as well as what bodes very well with the Amway business, is about women. The second thing is about youth. I mean, there are millions. It's the youngest country in the world. We've had the statistics, and there are millions of young people who have the energy, who have the grit, who have the aspiration to do well. What Amway does, Chris, to your point with social commerce and the model that we're taking and building forward, is it takes the best of e-commerce, which is easy and frictionless shopping, and takes the best of social platforms like WhatsApp and Facebook and Kakao Talk or WeChat, and combines these two to help every micro entrepreneur succeed from wherever they work. It could be from home, wherever they are. It lets them connect to the world, deal with customers, build communities around their passion. And Amway does the platform, Amway does the training, Amway does the skills, Amway has the products that help them succeed, and it's open for everyone. You just need 3 Ps, like we say in Amway. You need a positive attitude, a passion, and a mobile phone. If you have a phone, passion, and positive attitude, it's inclusive micro entrepreneurship. It doesn't require any capital, and it works particularly well with women and small town youth in India and across the world. And we are all in investing and continuing to invest in India, because we believe, despite all the challenges in the recent past, India remains a long-term growth story for Amway.
I like the 3 Ps, Milind. I'm going to borrow that. Pradeep?
I don't have anything as fancy. That was really well thought through. And I felt like the passion, Milind, that you had in the way that you talked about that, clearly that is deeply embedded in everybody at Amway. A terrific lesson for me. Chris, I think the way we think about this is we were built on this idea of micro entrepreneurship, right? If there was no micro entrepreneurship, there wouldn't be any Uber. We had, just before the COVID crisis, north of 3 million workers on our platform who are independent micro entrepreneurs. They have their vehicle, they log on to a platform, and they get connected to riders and make a living out of that. And that power of that obviously, solved some really important problems on the customer side, on the rider side, but equally, it is one of the most non-discriminatory platforms that's available. All we look for is that you need to know to drive and that you know to serve customers well. And we teach you how to access technology to be able to kind of tap into this magic. That was pre-COVID. I think your question is, really, really important as we look into the future. And I think our focus before COVID, and I wish we had said this when the minister was here, the largest employer or provider of opportunities in India is the Indian Railways, which is about 1.5 million. And our internal aspiration is to be that and more in India in the next 5 to 10 years. Pre-COVID, we were at nearly 500,000 and had momentum. And obviously, we wait till recovery comes back and it's safe to get back on the roads. But we are committed to providing north of 1.5 million economic opportunity for folks who really don't have access to kind of the best jobs and the best working conditions, and we provide an incredible opportunity for them to come onto our platform. Beyond that, there are two other important things. This is also a group of people, I would say, have not historically been supported by society. Let's take kind of one example of this. We are in the midst of working with the government of India today in reshaping the social code, which means that equivalent of social security, which is relatively weak in India, our drivers and people in the gig economy did not have access to that. It is truly, if done right, could be a seminal moment in how workers from particularly places which are not organized. As you know, India is a largely unorganized market for labor. This can make a big difference. So we are contributing to shaping that social security code. And lastly, we are putting a series of things in place around driver support that includes access to funds in case you need to buy your vehicles. We're putting access to cost improvement opportunities, which is cheaper fuel, cheaper maintenance, insurance that kind of makes it easier for you. Otherwise, you have it quite hard kind of getting access to that. And we are working on training and education, not just for male drivers, actually, particularly for women who are looking to make this a platform opportunity. The last thing I will leave a thought with you is that Minister Gadkari has been incredibly vocal about building two-wheelers and bike services, in this incredibly price-sensitive market. This is a market that exists in countries like Indonesia. That, if done at scale, and there are some regulatory challenges to kind of be worked through, when done at scale, could be one of the biggest drivers for micro entrepreneurship job opportunities, given there are 200 million people in India that own a bike. So we are very bullish that we get to play this vision out here over the next 5 years. Very much like Milind said we are fully committed and think about India as one of the most important global opportunities for us.
Thanks, Pradeep. I'm being told that Amy Hariani is going to take us out from here as we are running a bit over time, but there may be still opportunity for people to talk. And I know that Deepak and Ramesh, we have a few more questions for you. And so, Amy, you're going to take over for me. Gentlemen, thank you so much. This has really been great. Deepak, I miss seeing you, and I look forward to seeing you soon, either in Washington or New York. Milind, Pradeep, Ramesh, thank you so much. Amy, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Good job,
and
Thank you.
I know Chris has to excuse himself, and I know others probably have some time constraints as well. I did want to give Deepak and Ramesh just the final chance to say, anything else maybe they wanted to add on to that. I'm also very mindful of your schedules. I wanted to let everyone know that we have a virtual lunch if you're here in the US, or a virtual happy hour starting right after this program, and you can access that on the USIBC registration website, including one with Sister Shivani, a cooking class with Taj, and a sitarist. But Deepak and Ramesh, let me first just turn it back over to you to offer some final comments and thoughts before wrapping up our session today.
Okay.
So after
Okay. I think Amway and Uber are very good examples of how you have created micro entrepreneurs at scale by providing resources, training, education, and actually you have enabled them. I'm sure that lots of them could not have done it before you worked with them. I think that is how it should be done. There are any number of people today who don't have access to smartphones or smart devices, or they don't have connectivity, or they don't have enough connectivity, let's say, to provide services online, to access services online, to sell online, or to buy online. So I think actually this COVID and this online thing is very exciting, and this is really creating great opportunities. But still, in a large population like India's, it still leaves out very large number of people who don't have access. It's easy to say that online education is great, but there are so many hundreds of millions of people who have absolutely no access. Even teachers don't have access to providing online education. That number is very large. So really we have to now think seriously, because now we find that people, children or students from poor communities, they don't have laptops, they don't have these tablets to access or to connectivity. So I think we really have to work hard to make sure that while doing a job, providing services, getting services, or getting education or health, people are enabled. And as I said, Amway and companies like yours and Uber, you have done it. And I think this we need to do at a much larger scale.
Thank you, sir. Deepak?
Thank you, sir. I just heard the other day, and I really like that one, that we are all in the same storm, but in different boats. And I think it may sound ironic, but where we are concerned in India, I think this virus will get us all into a healthier life. And I'll tell you why I'm saying that. One of the primary things which this is going to do, and I just mentioned it a bit earlier in my comments, is the faster adoption and adaptation to digitization. And to my mind, that is going to be one of the singular turning points of India. That is going to create our inflection point. In fact, it already has. And why do I say that? The reason why I say that, look at it. Barriers to opportunity and barriers to access are the two elements which create disparity. This digitization is breaking down both those barriers. One of the amazing things, our Prime Minister had launched Startup India, and I'll just take 2 minutes, Amy, and I know that happy hour is waiting and we are all waiting to get there, but this is important. He launched Startup India in January 2016. We had Secretary Ramesh who took across that Startup India and got it executed. You know where we are today? Remember I mentioned to you about those 729 districts, how we are divided? Of those 729 districts, 563 of them have a registered startup. What I'm trying to say is that amazing innovation which is happening in those far-flung places today will have that access and that opportunity to move into the mainstream. Secretary Ramesh spoke about education, which is the biggest disparity point. And with this digitization, which this government has done at such a rapid level, and now it is being done at a far more rapid level, be it healthcare, be it education, be it all these opportunities, be it providing them the finance. Our fintech is now one of the fastest growing areas, or be it access to the markets for their products. This is where you will see that India where the fire in the belly is the strongest, where that urge and that image and that ambition to make it happen is there, is the one where you will see reflected now in this entire post-COVID area. This virus is changing India as never before. Thanks.
Well said, and I think a lot can be said about some of the silver linings we're seeing as a result of the virus, and maybe that's one of many. So I want to thank all of you, Milind, Ramesh, Deepak, Pradeep, for joining us today and enlightening us with your thoughts on what is going to happen and how we're going to be 6, 9, 12, 2 years from now. I appreciate your patience as we also engaged with the minister. We had a very thoughtful conversation. Again, I want to remind everyone that you're welcome to join us in about 6 minutes. We'll be starting our virtual lunch and virtual happy hour, a chance to sort of relax and do something a little bit more social. So please feel free to take a quick break and join us on there. Again, I want to thank my speakers and wish everyone a good rest of your evening if you're in India, and good day. And on behalf of USIBC, thank you very much for joining us.